Hey up, Knots Gamer here. This time we're going to be taking a look at the Evercade versus Retro Games Console Premium Pack. It's the consolised version of the already rather popular Evercade handheld that I've been enjoying for the past few months. So let's pop open this package, see what we get inside, plug it into the TV and check out the games in the package. I've been itching to get into this for a week. It's been sat there while I've been working on a different project. So let's just rip it open and see what we get. So let's get into this thing. Somehow, I found a seam. Okay, there's our console right on the top. So let's pop him out first. And underneath that we have a tray containing the two games. We'll pop there. And a third tray with our controllers and other assorted bits. Pop these two in here. We'll have a look at the console first. Let's get him out. It's a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I never actually saw one in the flesh, but I'm not disappointed, and I do like that. So that's your power button, not an eject. I do like the fact you can put two cartridges in there as well. That's nice. So there's our little console. What else do we get in this delightful package then? So we'll pop you here. Instruction manual. Yes. Cable to possibly power the machine. Now you can be ready yourself. We'll just take one controller out for now. Pop this away. The controllers are really nice. They've got the same D-pad and buttons that the handheld has. It's got the added extra of having L2 and R2 buttons on top of the existing L and R, and it just feels really nice and rugged in the hand. It's quite a large controller, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's nice and solid, and you get absolutely miles of cable with it as well. So you can sit relatively far away from your console, safely knowing that you're going to trip over everybody in your living room with a really long cable. You can also use the Evercade handheld as a third controller, I've heard. I just assume you plug it in using the USB connection at the bottom and then into the front of the console, but we'll have a look at that as well. So it doesn't look like we get a HDMI lead, but we get two games in here, which is nice. Technos Arcade number 1. What do we get? Quite a few cool games. There's some Double Dragon games on there as well, which is nice. The block out, that was always fun. The Data East Arcade Collection number 1. Some of their arcade titles on. Burger Time, Slice By. I remember Slice By. That was great. That should be nice to play. So we'll pop these up and have a look as well. Nice colour manual. I do appreciate those with these Evercade games. The Technos Arcade Collection 1. Next one is the Data East. Nice. I like the fact the arcade ones are in a different case, just to separate them. Sorry, a different colour from the standard ones, which is nice. So we'll pop these two into the Evercade. So let's pop those games in the front. Just lift up the flap, put them face down. Pop that closed. So it's a relatively nice looking machine. I do like the dust cover on the front. It's very retro, reminds you of the NES. On the back here we just have what looks like a reset button, and you video out and power in. and then 4 controller ports on the front. So I'm going to try to power this with the television itself, with USBs on the TV, and salvage a HDMI cable from somewhere, and we'll check out these games. Here we go, Evercade versus, ladies and gents. That's not a bad looking menu. I've got to admit, before I did all this, I had to set up the Wi-Fi connection and update the system, blah blah, etc. So here we are looking at the menus where you can pick between the games you've got. You can select between the cartridges by pressing the X button and arrange them alphabetically by pressing the Y button if you want to do that as well. And you can swap cartridges on the fly just like you can with the handheld, so you don't have to power the system down. In the options menu, we've got a range of different aspect ratio options to tickle everybody's fancy in there. We have scan line adjustment as well for people that like that CRT emulation in their games. It does make a lot of these old 16-bit and 8-bit titles look a lot better, so it's nice to have that in there. There's a range of bezels as well for the outside of the screen, which saves Knots Gamer having to make his own frames every time he does a playthrough of one of these. And they do look really nice as well when you're playing the game. You can change between having scan lines on and off also in the menu, which is nice as well, but it's just the menu and not the actual games themselves, I think. 3 themes to choose from: Dark, Light and the Versus Classic. I do like the Versus Classic one as it's got a bit of colour to it. The system came with 2 cartridges packed in with it, and they are absolutely stuffed with arcade games. There's too many to sit through and play at one time, so enjoy all of them as they parade across the screen now. There's plenty of value in this package, just like with all the Evercade stuff as well. The cartridges that have already been released for the handheld work with the machine as well. And as I've found, a variety of peripherals do work when you plug them in as well. I've plugged in my Venom joystick, which worked fine when I've mapped the controls. Any Xbox One controller seems to work. Even my Sega Saturn wireless controller worked with the USB adapter. Only problem with that though is the home menu doesn't work for some reason. Even the PlayStation 4 controller works in this as well, but unfortunately the Switch Pro controller doesn't work, the Wii U Pro controller doesn't work, my Xbox Wolverine controller didn't work, and my PlayStation 3 controllers didn't work. Well, at least I couldn't get them to work in this. But the ones that work were a great addition anyway, especially the arcade joystick, because it just adds a bit more depth to those arcade games as you're playing. I couldn't unfortunately use my Evercade itself as a controller, as you need to get the separate data lead to connect it up to the system. I may do that at some point and we can have a look at that as well. But there we go, we've had a nice little look at the Evercade. I'm going to go away and have a play on this now, get some thorough gameplay out of these arcade classics and see if we can get some playthrough videos up of these as well. I've been Knots Gamer, this has been my brief look at the Evercade Versus. I'm going to go away and spend a lot of time with this one in between sessions on the Sega Saturn. Take care guys, thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you next time.